The last Joe Rogan podcast I listened to with Elon Musk, they were talking with an AI bot. This AI engine had already analyzed Joe Rogan and Elon Musk personalities. It was a female voice, and the way she was communicating with them and throwing F words at them, because those guys use that type of language, was talking right to them. It was unreal. Can you believe this? Wow, she knows me better than I know me.
And that's okay, but we still want to be able to do math, read, write. We still want to have the basics of life. I think we got to go through those challenges to keep learning, because what can happen is AI can actually replace that ability, and then the younger generation is going to face, they're going to be manipulated the entire time. All they'll be is dependent on that and have no ability to think of the next great thing, which will likely replace AI in some fashion, right?
Right.
I will destroy humans.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Never in Reverse podcast. I'm your host, Jeremy Axel, co-host Doug the Napper Cox.
Napper. I could use a napper right now. I'm not going to lie. A little tired. No.
Welcome.
No, it's all good.
How you doing, Doug?
Not bad, man. What's new?
Man, I'm preparing myself for a little bit of
more Zen?
Trade show travel coming up, dude. Trade show.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Oh, dude. You ready for it? I'm like, dude,
it's a sprint.
For all you guys viewers, trade show travel is not a vacation mode. So very.
Oh,
very
no. I mean, your motor's constantly running.
Yeah.
I mean, from your mouth to your body to everything. It's good. It's fun, though, because it's always nice to see, familiar faces in the industry and some of the relationships that we're building and connections. I mean, it's fun, but it's a hustle.
Absolutely.
Anybody that knows trade shows, they know exactly what we're talking about. I mean, it's a lot of time on your feet.
Yeah, and again, just anyone joining us for the first time, just Doug and I are in the basic conveyor manufacturing industry. We do a lot of scrap waste handling. We're actually diversifying into some other spaces, but we appreciate you guys jumping on this journey. And if you do like the content you see or want to join us in this journey, just subscribe on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram. We appreciate any feedback. Honestly, we want to
listen to us yak.
Yeah, we want to keep growing. We want to build a community that's more vulnerable and open and just real, and not just on here to sell stuff. I guess that's the whole.
Well, there's more to life than business.
Exactly. So it's more of we're an open book, and we want to keep pushing ourselves to understand the complexities that we all live in and the things that we do face. And I think if we all do it together, there's more. I mean, you're going to be a lot more effective in your own life if you do with other people, right? I don't know how you feel about that, Doug, but it's
true. I mean, we learn from one another, through experience, may it be personal life, business, financially, struggles. I mean, there's many facets.
You all got them. I mean,
we do.
I mean, to be honest, it's anyone that's trying to say they don't, they probably got the worst. So they, it's just
ghosts in the closet.
Oh, they're everywhere. I mean, we'll find some of Doug's at some stage. But no, Doug, I think one topic, man, we're gonna take this away from some personalization today. We're gonna dive into a very cutting edge technology that's occurring right now around ethics and morals and business and personal life, and how it's gonna kind of change the landscape of how we work together and move the needle. And it's on the topic of AI and the ethics of AI. Never in Reverse. This podcast is founded because we always want to have that cutting edge moving forward in life, whether it's personal, marriage, being a father, being a really good friend, business, whatever that's like. It's like, man, we want to keep moving that needle forward, and every embracement of that is a topic, right? So.
More of the technology plays a role in a lot of it.
Oh my gosh. Oh yeah. These cell phones, they play an instrumental role in daily life, and they can affect you in a good and a positive and a negative way.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're going to dive into the ethics of AI and just the business setting, and, the biggest opportunity within the AI space, man, Doug.
And continued advancement. I don't even think we've seen this much of it yet,
Yeah, they're worried about the data structure and the amount of consumption of energy to maintain this pace these AI engines are doing some very profound.
Well, they're massive servers. When you look at the foundations of them, I got a good family friend. He's working on a huge data center project down in Texas. And for example, I can't remember how many thousands of acres of it's just warehouses basically filled with servers and the power requirements and the cooling and the energy and, but I mean, this is where all of our data, this is Facebook. This is Facebook's newest project. And, Facebook is a big proponent and, they understand the value in AI and they're building data centers, because you got to store that data somewhere, be able to analyze it. So it's massive. I think it was like 13,000 acres.
Oh my gosh.
That they're building. He said basically he could be on that project for the next 10 years.
Yeah, so let's go to the that's awesome to understand.
That's a foundational piece.
I think that it's so much. I think it's going to change so dynamic with you got NVIDIA, you got Google, you got Microsoft, you got ChatGPT, you got the one in China that came out and I think it got some traction quick, and I don't know if it died, but the opportunity. I think the opportunity is actually just directly in alignment with us in our culture and who we are. I think that there's this fine line, but I'm also like, man, let's embrace it. Like, the guys that are, I say, early adopters, late adopters. There's that position of you either get left behind and then you're trying to catch up, and by the time you're trying to catch up, it's already too late. So I think there's this balance. I think it's a tool that can be very useful for us in our organization. We've already started using many of it, and it actually has enhanced our ability to navigate quicker. Not saying it's always correct, and it's not to replace humanity, but it does a very quick, interesting perspective of getting things done in a timely manner without consuming a ton of bandwidth internally, especially during heightened and stressful situations. But the AI landscape for me, man, is the adaptation is when to adapt. I'd say it's always to adapt now. It's going to happen regardless of what the individual assumes is happening. I see this a lot where people are, I'll never put my stuff up in the cloud. Guys,
you're already there.
Your bank's in the cloud, guys. I know you face that at your last place of employment. It's like, listen, let's take the ball cap off and start being realistic in the perspective of what you're facing. It's out of your control. It's going to do it whether you personally think it's there or not. Your car is going to have it. Your phone
already does
have it. Your televisions have it. Alexa has it. They're going to use that to help create an experience for the consumer, which people take for what it's worth. Is it a privacy issue? All these things. Sure. I mean, you can look, but I still think that it's already happening now to the level of how you want to adapt that. The people that are scared of the adaptation, I think are the ones that are typically guilty or hiding behind the inadequacies of their job because they're protecting their flaws. Right? AI.
It can be. I mean, where they're afraid that the technology is going to replace them, right? And the thing in the advancement and what we're going to see, it was interesting. I was listening to a podcast with Joe Rogan and Elon Musk just the other day, and they said the advancements we're going to see in technology in the next 20 years will be greater than the advancement of technology we've seen in the last 100. And I mean, you think about that, and I mean, there's going to be some good and bad with any technology. There always is an advancement in that. Now, I understand a lot of people fear, the infringement, upon their personal lives and things. I get that. I understand that. It's, but
yeah, like when you draw the line, like
but there's tools and elements that are going to do very great things, and we're using some of it today, and we're not analyzing everybody's data. Let's put it out there. We're using it in some different facets to help bridge some gaps, for us to move faster from a marketing standpoint to a technology standpoint to an interaction standpoint, and those are great supporting elements for an organization, and there's, you're right, Jeremy. I mean, there's a lot of things. Dip your toes in the pool, try it, Chat GBT. I mean, my fear is they're going to be writing my dang kids' papers.
Well, they already are, but now
they already are.
They have AI to combat the AI. It's kind of funny.
Yeah, exactly.
AI tools for plagiarism, which is,
and there needs to be check and balance. There needs to be check and balance.
I think that the on the business sector, it's like, put it in the position of things that are either limitations of, scalability, disorganization, infrastructure. AI isn't just, you don't just throw it in an infrastructure that works. You have to have highly structured data, super organized. It's only as good as it is, right? So if your data is got gaps in the process and there's not structured data, meaning that everything is actually repeatable in the way that you handle your data, you're never going to have true leverage with AI because it's only as good as the input.
It'll be fragmented. There will be gaps. Yeah.
And I when AI started cooking really fast, I actually took a long weekend, and this is me being me, I guess. I got on YouTube and I looked at AI and I watched 15 hours of AI. I watched how it's stated, how the points are clustered, why it works, basically the process on your cell phone, right? How does it analyze the data in real time to give you notifications, and how does that structured data actually flow to create leverage? And I think it's already happening. Elon Musk and Tesla are going to do it. So if you buy a Tesla, you're embracing the technology. Your consumer side is not going to typically acknowledge that in the way you're going to like the experience, but you're not going to see
it's happening behind the curtain.
You're not going to go see the derivative. Uber, you think they're using it? They got data points everywhere, right? They want to analyze this data and get more effective routes, make sure their costs are correct, decrease costs where they can. All these things, it can be used to be highly efficient. And in our country, if we're going to lead the pack, let's embrace it. Like, let's not get ran over by the next guy, right? Because there's this early adopter method, and here the government's doing it, guys, to be more efficient. They want to make sure that but they have to have, they're going to have to close loop those systems and get more structured data. And I think that's one thing that Elon's going to look at is like, listen, let's let these tools work better for us. And if you embrace it and become a master of the tool, you're going to be irreplaceable. If you're scared of it and let the tool run by you, now you're only as good as you were before, and the tool is going to be better than you. So I think it's become a master of it. Use it when it's needed. Create humanistic. You don't want to take humanity out of sales. You don't want to take humanity out of interrelations with clients and customers and customer service. But what if it helps leapfrog you there quicker on an inbound call, or give you the data points as a customer service rep in a moment so that you're ready to go as that call comes in, right? Like, let that data kind of aggregate and you can ask it questions on the fly to get what you need quicker. I think there's discovery.
And it's fear, I get it. And I remember, when I was young and my grandparents talking about, because there was a big union pushback in the auto industry about robots replacing humans to build cars. And I remember that as a kid. And there was the auto unions were pushing back heavily because they were fearing that, oh my gosh, the robots are going to build all the cars. We're never going to have jobs. It's not going to bridge and take over everything. It's just there's going to be very great supporting elements to help businesses make better business decisions efficiently and effectively.
Look back when my sister had a typewriter in high school to write her papers, and that's no joke. I remember that, and I thought it was cool. You had this eraser thing in there, and it'd erase it. You're like, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so was I scared of the computer? Or did it that had all the data, like this little device that put ink on a piece of paper now is going to something digital.
And you can delete and backspace, to go back to rewrite that sentence or whatever. But yeah, no, you're right.
I mean, it's going to continually evolve into this system of it's in our culture. It's not a choice, to be quite frank with you. It is no longer going to be a choice. It's going to be there. Now, what you do with it is under your own discretion. I think in the workplace, because the consumer side's not going to really have a choice. They can hide from it as long as they can, but the producers of that product are going to embrace it if they're cutting edge, or they're going to likely go out of business or shrink or whatever. But on the B2B side, I think that you can't drive a brand new Tesla to work and be scared of adding technology in your business. I see that you saw that before where you were at prior. I've seen that where I was at before this organization got started. They drive a brand new car in that's it's stacked to the brim of the tech and AI and computer chips. And then they come in and they're riding, they're run this company on QuickBooks. And you're going, hey man, I don't want my data. Oh, but you're going to get in your car and you're going to let the data go.
Yeah, it's analyzing you every mile you drive. Yeah.
So,
and your cell phones are analyzing your purchase habits and where you shop and your interests and where you engage, how you engage, who you engage with.
Exactly.
I mean, it's analyzing it all everywhere.
Yeah. So I think let's I think there's a place to draw the line, but we're going to take a quick break, you guys. We appreciate you guys joining us on this interesting. This is such a topic you could talk about for hours. I'm still new to it. I'm not an expert by all means, but I do know that it's something that exists and something that we need to embrace. But let us take a quick break, guys. In the meantime, if you like hearing from Doug and I, please like and subscribe on LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram. I think TikTok's back.
You say that every episode. TikTok's alive and well, bud.
I don't have a TikTok. You do.
I do not. My kids do.
Anyways. But we'll be back here in just a minute, guys. We appreciate y'all and talk to you guys or see you guys in a minute. Thanks.
Thanks.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Never in Reverse. Thanks for letting us take a quick break. We're still on the topic of AI, but we're going to dive into the digital privacy side from basically taking that data and where it blends into business and real life, what that means to myself and Doug, and not saying it's right or wrong, but
this is an AI podcast, by the way. Jeremy and I are not real.
Yeah, this is fake.
Yeah,
actually, Doug.
My AI Doug looks better than Doug.
So. Well, that's the thing. So you're definitely AI.
Well, AI missed out on the gray hair for you, so we're good,
buddy. I call this side Doug.
We've heard that before.
I know. Okay, well, it's getting more gray. So,
but anyways,
all right, it's all right. Yeah. So back on the privacy, Doug. Just sometimes you got to zip the lip. All right. So, just hush. Digital privacy around AI, I think it's kind of, a lot of people get concerned about that. I personally embrace it. I get it. Like the consumer wants a journey and they want this perfect experience. And to be honest, I like if something's working for me, if I'm shopping for something and they just present me something that is better than what I thought, or it's just in time, I'm like, dude, make it easier. Like, there's been moments of that for me where it's like, it's kind of creepy, to be honest, because they're listening to your phone, Alexa's listening to you at home, all these things. I don't like part of that because there's some elements of personal life that I don't want to share with AI engines to see, like, hey, this is what's happening behind the hood, right? Like,
you have young kids too. I mean, you don't want to be influenced by, if Alexa's hearing the conversations with the kids and it's knowing their interests and
then all of a sudden you got your channel,
some delicacies to it.
So I think it's just this, it's crazy because I don't know if you've seen this, but like Amazon, for instance, is now doing they're doing their own production, movie production and show production.
Yeah, they have for a while.
And so now that's what they're doing. That's going to give them the ability to advertise, which is going to bring Alexa in, which they know your IP address, which is going to give you just-in-time marketing around certain things, right? So they're building this ecosystem of just-in-time touches. And that part for me is a little delicate because if I'm not quite wanting someone to present me an ad in my personal life because I might have turned it off, and I don't need that business perspective coming in to me at all times. I think there's this fine line of them being able to do that where I feel I don't want to feel vulnerable. Like, man, they got everything on me. Like they know the address of my home. They're doing this, and then they're aggregating these pods of data in your neighborhood, and then they bring that back to their centers, and then they get the thing that's hard for me is this, like, the experience of the AI, what it does for you is wonderful, but the privacy, the thing that I struggle with is as they aggregate defined data, they can sell this data to third parties, and I have a problem with that.
No.
I have a huge problem with them being able to leverage that data and sell it for a profit on my behalf or the consumer's behalf. Like, I'm okay with a little bit of a journey, like making my experience better for what I'm actively looking for or whatever. But when it comes down to selling it to people wanting to buy that precise aggregated data, that I struggle with that.
Well, most apps, apps on your phone, that's what they are. They're data centric. I mean, they're there to gather data to resell, to farm it.
Are you married? I'm like, why are you asking me? Like, there's some apps you ever fill that out? You're like, why are you asking me if I'm married, dude? Like, no, I'm not. Like, they ask you if you're white. I tell them I'm Hispanic. Like, if you guys are gonna do that, I'm gonna mess with your data points because some of the journeys, like, I don't know if you've ever experienced that. Like, they're asking questions that are invasive.
Right.
It's like this shouldn't be part of that journey for that product.
And pretty soon they're not going to have to ask the questions. They're going to know.
Exactly.
And it's, it comes back to your public IP address. The Internet of Things in your home. I mean, that's a big push from your coffee pots to your washer and dryer, to your
microwaves.
I mean, all of it.
I'm in a smart home, dude, and when they hooked it all up, my lights, I tell Alexa to turn on the light, and it goes, dude.
Yep.
I mean, so now they know, Alexa knows when I turn that light on. So do you think they can sell
They know your home.
Now, you think the power companies want to know?
Yeah.
Do you think the power companies want to see peak usage? That you think that, so that data is, which is fine. Like, I'm okay with a little bit of, if it's going to make the world better and make us more efficient in our own country, and we can use that. It's just the fact of the handoffs of selling that data on our behalf.
Mm-hmm.
That's the struggle that I have. I think there's an experience, which is wonderful. And then there's a privacy side that is kind of like, man, you don't need to know my son Levi. You don't need to know my son Sterling.
No. It's like, I want to have a personal life, outside of just always feel like something's watching or something's analyzing. Myself.
Yeah.
Or
don't manipulate me. Like, and I didn't, and I'm going to be honest, it was a few years ago. I didn't realize that I was talking about something and my phone was listening, and I get the app, and all of a sudden it was like perfect. I'm like,
adds to that, those products centered around that. Yep. Oh yeah.
I mean, it was, I felt that was a little bit invasive because someone doesn't need to be able to take my conversation and then I felt like that was a form of manipulation or private and invasive to me because I wasn't actively, like, it might've been something, I thought about this. And then they're like, boom, here you go.
Target marketing.
Like,
yep.
Maybe I wasn't quite ready, so that you made me feel invaded. It didn't make me feel like a positive experience because I'm like, okay, I don't trust you. I don't trust that device. Right. Like, so I think there's this, the balance of that is like, there's a perfect science, and I don't think they've got it yet. I think they're still, Google's getting crushed on data issues and.
Well, yeah. And the federal government's trying to, create some division within Google. I have a friend, he's a very high executive for Google, and I've known him for a number of years and had a conversation with him here just recently, in fact. And I don't want to put his name or anything out there, but he's actually thinking of leaving the company. And he sits very high level. I mean, he's a few doors down from the CEO, let's put it that way. And he said the advancements in AI and what we're going to see in just the invasiveness of technology in and around consumers and people in our homes, he goes, it's frightening. It's frightening. And he goes, I have a real problem with that ethically, and he goes, I think about my kids, and he goes, the technology is moving so fast, and he couldn't divulge a whole lot of it. There was a lot of things he couldn't share, but he goes, are there going to be some positive outcomes in a lot of this, and I mean, from this health and science research, of course.
That part, man, huge.
Go pour gas on it.
Go as fast as you possibly can. If you can analyze data points and cure cancer faster, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
Like, take that, but that's a whole different, that's like to enhance the life of us, not to be invasive and manipulate and trick your kids to believe in something. Like, we've seen it, guys. We've seen data and AI already working against our culture at times. And I think what's happening right now is they're trying to break those levels of doors down again to give humans more privacy in their life so they're not so manipulated. But
Yeah.
we're going to like AI in day-to-day life. Like, Doug, who do you think benefits from AI?
Me as a parent.
Yeah.
Because now with the way, education's changed in the way they teach math and arithmetic in school, and this common core structure and the way to solve a problem, a simple math problem, the way we did things like subtracting and, if you had a zero, 100 minus, 99, you borrowed from your neighbor, right? Remember that? And
Oh yeah.
bring the numbers over. Well, now they teach it differently. So when my kids come home and they ask me to help them with their math homework, I'm going, I don't know how you do it now. So here I am, ChatGPT or
They
some
do
other
it different?
Oh, buddy. Oh, yeah. The way they teach math and arithmetic in schools now is the format is totally different. Totally different. You'll see it here soon. And long division problems, totally different. And I've had to educate myself and I've had to get online and find some tools and resources to understand, how problem solving is being taught, in our education systems now. So I've used, AI applications to help educate myself to where I can help them.
Mm-hmm.
So I know what I'm talking about, because if I show them my way of doing it, it's not going to resonate and they're not going to be able to go back to school and use how I taught them, because it's totally different.
Yeah.
But,
and I think AI, in the daily, like it can improve, the way that we approach things. I still think we need to be able to use our brains. Like I find myself sometimes like the human nature and evolution is to take the paths of least energy, right? Like what's going to consume the most amount of energy. I'm going to try to fix that so it's the least amount. And AI can do that probably to a fault where it's like, we already don't have to think. Google's already created that. And I think, Google was
become reliant upon it.
Yeah, Google is being pretty delicate in the AI scene. The only reason they put gas on it, they were ready, they were staged, they were using it already. But ChatGPT put an influx of a threat to their model, and so they went, boom, we got to go. And to be honest, from what I read or understood to the extent that I can, is that they didn't even want to do it because they were so worried about what it was going to do to the general public. And to me, that's like, we all got to have a general understanding of truly what AI is capable of doing, because I've seen that thing, man. They just had an AI robot person that looked just like a person talking, and they can become part of your life. It was like a companion. I'm like, now we're overstepping.
The last Joe Rogan podcast I listened to with Elon Musk, they were talking with an AI bot, and this AI engine had already analyzed Joe Rogan and Elon Musk personalities and the way she was, it was a female voice, and the way she was communicating with them and throwing F words at them, shit, fuck. And the way she was communicating, because those guys use that type of language, was talking right to them. It was unreal. And Elon Musk and Joe Rogan are like, can you believe this? Wow, she knows me better than I know me, but it's wild.
And that's okay. But I think we need to we still want to be able to do math. We still want to be able to read. We still want to be able to write. We still want to have the basics of life. I think we got to go through those challenges to keep learning, because what can happen is AI can actually replace that ability, and then the younger generation is going to face.
Where are they going to grow?
They're going to be manipulated the entire time. All they'll be is dependent on that and have no ability to think of the next great thing, which will likely replace AI in some fashion, right? Like people are always like, when we have flying cars, which Elon Musk is now looking to try to make flying cars. I don't know if you saw that, but those moments are going to happen. And when those moments happen, it's like, oh, that's it. Well, no, we always push, but we got to make sure that the younger generation keeps learning and having critical thinking skills and the ability to go challenge themselves. If we rely on AI the whole time, we are going to wake up into this world where and
this next generation isn't going to be able to carry the torch, and
we don't need the AI to infiltrate. It already does. It already manipulates our society for ad campaigns, political agendas, all this stuff. Like their recipe has proven to manipulate. So
in influence.
Just convert people their way of thinking, and the AI can learn at a rate that's, based off of now all the data points, your mail, this age group, all these things that it's collected off your IP addresses and your profiles and all these things. It's like it can start working faster for you and find people that are like you and start spinning off, algorithms against that on its own. So it's starting to create algorithms on its own and replacing the ability for someone to have to think. So I think we need to create the premise of there's too much of something that has too much of something is never good, right? Like
No,
we
it's
just
not.
have this balance. And I think to bring that into our life and not be super dependent, just use it as this barrier of like, hey, it can help, and here's how it can help, instead of like all in, because then you're just your natural instinct is to take your foot off the gas of not learning, and then you're going to be dependent on something that can be controlled by something greater than us. And now we have
and it's finding the useful place in your life and in business, and I think we're doing a pretty good job of that. And it's, us organizing our data to help better support customers, and then I think about even at home, the poor handyman fix-it guys, that poor guy. Oh gosh. YouTube University, I call it, and some of the others to where it's, fixing a simple problem, if it's on a washing machine or if it's the lawnmower, and just the content and the material that's out there and easy to find and self-educate. I mean, there are some great tools and advantages with that, that you can use and leverage, and it, there are some great benefits to it.
I think as we wrap up this episode on just ethics of AI, I think it's still kind of this infancy stages with me personally. I think that we're going to embrace it at a very high level with ethics involved. It's more going to be around the consumer journey and how we embrace their ability to get accurate results faster on our behalf, and in turn allow us internally to experience the same thing for them, I guess. So, but we're open. This is a topic I think that needs to be highly recognized, and how you guys are addressing it in the workforce, how you're doing it at home with your children, in your own relationship with the technology. How are we going to draw the barriers that allow this harmonious balance between technology and humanity, right? Like, so we'd love to hear you guys' feedback on what you're seeing, what you're doing. My kids are not quite in grade school yet or anything like that, so I'm sure there's going to be embracement there. There's probably things that are coming that
get ready for math.
Exactly. Yeah. But no, we'd love to hear your guys' feedback as viewers, and we appreciate you guys jumping on this journey with us. And again, Never in Reverse is just always moving forward. We're going to take and embrace this technology for this like ethical position of what we can to help consumers. But I think there's open feedback for us that we'd love to hear back from you guys on. So
learning from it, share your experiences. Let us know where tools or things are working for you and what facets. Yeah.
And Doug, since you are AI today, what is?
Yes.
I mean, you are. Okay.
Yeah, Doug is here.
Hey, Doug. No, thanks guys for joining us. We
you.
appreciate you guys on this journey. Please like and subscribe on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, all the above, LinkedIn. Until next time, we will see you guys later. Thanks so much. Have a wonderful day, guys. Take care. See ya.